Good morning, everybody. This is Chris Comments, show of common sense on common ground, and it's really where I wanted to talk about the space program. The reason why I say this is because yesterday, at the time of this recording, there was testimony from a bunch of pilots that say that they've encountered UFOs, they've spotted UFOs, alien spacecraft that could only come from outer space and not from outer space and not from here on Earth, And it was really interesting to see the hearings and all that, and the testimonies and all that. But there's already some speculation that this is just to make up for Trump's Space Force, which I think is pretty hilarious, because it's a solid point given the fact that nothing really positive ever came out of Space Force. And then to top it all off, Elon Musk SpaceX, which, don't get me wrong, he launched some more rockets than anybody had even thought of. And the simple fact that he can have them where they reverse and land themselves and all this good stuff, it was cool. But at the same time, we're looking at these rich people, the people in charge, and then the filthy rich elite, the billionaires, spend so much money on stuff that just really doesn't make anything happen. It doesn't lessen our signal on our Wi-Fi's, or it doesn't lessen the fees and fines and all that stuff. We still got to pay a lot of money for internet. And so far, no word as to whether or not it's increased our defenses, or anything like that. Just so far, it really hasn't come up with anything. But billions and billions of dollars and all that stuff. So what positive stuff could come out of it? I don't know. But it's obvious there is a certain leg to stand on if you're skeptic to it all, in saying that acknowledging alien life, or life not of this earth, should step up the science program and the space program and all this other stuff to make up for the worthlessness of Space Force and the big whoop about a billionaire that can send a rocket to space. Nobody really, because in the end, it still doesn't help the economy. It still doesn't lower the high costs of living, and there's no real big improvements. Everything is still 4G, 5G, and nothing really spectacular about it, So, that's the spiel there. It's good that we acknowledge it. It's good that they acknowledge it, because the rest of society has always known that aliens in spacecraft are always around and all this other stuff. It's just finally, it's good that the government or whatever, especially here in America, has finally acknowledged it, and well, at least that there's alien spacecraft flying around, and that's about it. So it's very interesting and stuff, and everybody's going to start getting ready for all the cinematic features of the day the Earth stood still and all this other crap, all over again. War of the Worlds, all this great stuff concerning aliens and the possible threat that they pose and all this good stuff. As far as Ancient Aliens goes, I want to remind everybody that the creator of it all, who wrote a book called Ancient Astronauts, his name was Dr. Eric von Daniken, and he openly admitted that he made that stuff up. Which, if you take a step back and think about it, it's true. Every single ancient structure happens to be a launch pad. Come on, dude. Happens to be a launch pad for aliens that crashed down here, or just needed to use it to break orbit and all this other stuff. That's just dumb. And I understand how it captured the imagination of people and the attention and all that, but it's still just dumb. And disregarding that, keeping that fact in mind is not refusing to believe in aliens. I still believe in aliens. I just think that ancient aliens bullshit is simply that bullshit. You know, I still believe UFOs are flying around like everybody else. We all knew that they were flying around. You know, but that ancient alien stuff is just bullcrap. You know. I even believe in the moon landing, regardless of the pictures. You know, the cross shadows and stuff like that. Shadows can cross in any which way. You know, here on Earth we can prove that. You know, but yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, it's just silly to me that our societies and all that are owed to the ancient societies, which are owed to the aliens, you know, for making structures to begin with, which is just dumb. There's too much archaeological evidence that proves we went through the follies, you know, the triumphs and the follies of triumphs and the failures of architecture. There's just too much evidence that says so, that it wasn't aliens that created this crap, that created our infrastructure and all this other stuff, you know. But that aside, there's, for everybody out there that is happy, congratulations. I'm glad. It's a big sign of relief, because it's also to all those who had to face skepticism and said, no, you don't know what you're talking about and all this stuff. And finally, there's one step closer to proving yourselves correct, and, you know, more power to you. For those of us that are down to earth and common sense on common ground, we all know that, yeah, it's just a way to try to make SpaceX and Space Force look good, you know, which now to expect the political scares, you know, who's going to protect us from the aliens? Are you going to trust this guy as your president to protect us from aliens? You know, believe it or not, I know, you know, it's going to come up. And in quite honesty, in pure 100% honesty, if we're going to be considering that as a factor to voting for our next president, then honestly, we should vote for one that's actually going to do something about that, instead of just renaming NASA, which is really all that the previous president did, you know. We should have programs and all, because it's going to open up the venue for a lot of jobs, you know, even non-scientist and non-engineer jobs, because you got to have grunt workers no matter what the project. No matter what the project, you got to have grunt workers. You got to have those that, and then it might still just be minimum wage or something like that, you know, $15 an hour, but, you know, screw it. You know, it's work. So that's the long and the short of it. I just wanted to point that out. If we're going to be voting for space anything, then we should put that into consideration, instead of following some babbling bullcrap scare tactic. You know, I will protect you. I will protect you from those evil aliens. You know, yeah, you can't trust him. You can't trust this guy, the opposing candidate. So that's, which, you know, I mean, it's just dumb. We need to vote for somebody that actually has a program and ready to put it in to effect, and not just simply rename the space program that we already have, plain and simple. Or say, well, we're going to do a collaboration with the European Union. No. Don't say none of that shit, because that's not making anything either. You know, we need a good American space program with the good American jobs to provide, with actual physical stuff to put up as far as defense goes. You know, and better signals and stuff like that. We should already have the image coming out of our screen. You know, we should have images coming out of our screen, you know, and providing surround sound from our one little device, and, you know, and geological mappings that can come out of the screen, and you can actually look at it three-dimensional and all this good stuff, you know, and all this other good stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling now, so, and I'm taking shots at the dark as to whether or not it's shots in the dark as to whether or not we should have this and that, and speculation of what our progression in technology should be. I'm sure there's something that I'm not thinking about that it could involve the satellites that we're going to throw up there in the near future. Maybe. I mean, again, maybe it just might be renamed. But that depends on us. That's all on us. That's on you and me, man. That's on you and me. Again, I think we should put somebody that's that actually has a program ready to be put up, a policy and a plan, you know, to put up, rather than just rename it something else, you know. Space Force, SpaceX, Space Army, you know, Tech Army or whatever, you know, whatever the hell. That's other crap. All right, I'm going to close it off for the day. Y'all have a good one. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time. I do apologize for not writing any more articles for you to read. This job is taking up, it's, you know, 10 hours a day. And then the trips back and forth. I come home tired, so I'm not writing any more articles yet. And I'm not doing anything on the audio podcast yet. As soon as I get my equilibrium, as soon as I figure out the timing, I'll be doing that. You might be only hearing the audio version of it all once a week, and on a weekly basis, instead of whenever something comes up, I talk about it in response, like everybody else in the world that does. Everybody's usually like very immediate and stuff. Mine is gonna probably be once a week, and the only times that you're gonna be hearing or seeing anything is like this time before that I start my work day. I'm parked in my job's parking lot, and I'm on my way in right now. So y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. This is Chris Comets signing out. Keep on keeping on, y'all.